So this is one of my favorite chords. This is a D sus2. And when you play it here, this shape mechanically gives your fingers a lot more options to play a lot more notes. So if it's a sus2, what you have is you have the root here, D, root, second here, then the fifth. So what's good to know is this all comes from this E-shaped chord, E-shaped D major chord. And you want to know that it's the root, second, third, and fourth. And that fifth is there on top on the B string. So that's the main chord, is those notes. So it's a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a weird chord to get under your fingers. But what it'll allow you to do is to hammer onto that third. And that third position is the one we all know. This chord. That one's very well, that chord's very well known, but when you play it like this, it gives you the option to put that index finger down to create a sus chord. And here is a D. What you can also do is you can hit an open A string and E string, make it even more rich. So the main reason I think this chord is great is because it lets you do a lot with D major with very little finger movement. So you got a D sus2, then you can easily hammer onto the D major, and then you can move your fingers. I usually move mine like this, and then you got a D sus4. So it's the same concept as that D chord we all learned when we were beginning, where you take away the top note and make it a D sus2, and then you add your pinky on the G and it's a D sus4. So it's the same thing, just here. And that shape's beneficial because it lets you, with the cage system, the way the guitar is made, is you can do that in any key. You want to go in B flat. Easily lets you do that kind of sus to the 2, then sus to the 4, that kind of swinging feel. The other shapes aren't as friendly. If you're in this D shape here, it's easy to get the 4th. I find it hard to flip out of that to the sus2. So that shape, plus just the power chord's a little bit more muddy than up here, where you don't have that 5th on the thicker strings, and it floats a little. It feels a little more floaty. Another thing about this shape is that we're mostly playing in D major. We talked about sussing it to the 4, which kind of implies that G. So you're going to your 4, you got 1, and then you could say this is 4. And if you want to go to the 5, which would be the A chord, it's right there. So the A chord shape is there. So instead of playing, D like this, and then your 4 chord is G major like this, and then your A like that. Instead of playing all those big chords, you can just keep this shape and just move it a little bit. You got your 1 there, then the 4 you would double those fingers down, and then you take the pinky off, move the ring finger down, and then back to the 1. use it if I'm playing on a song that's just one chord for the verse. See, it's just like a D. And you just want to move it a little bit. That's all D, but it's got a little bit more to it if it fits for the song. So another way to play it is you bar the 2 middle strings. And that way, it gives you the 6 of this D major. But what it'll also give you is when you go to sus it to the 4, it'll give you the 3rd of the 4th chord. Again, you don't need to get wrapped up on the theory of it. You could just, one way to do this if you're barring it is you can just randomly pick random notes and let your fingers kind of dance on it. So one thing worth noting, it's kind of intuitive, you might already know it, but when you're learning a chord that has a stretch in it, or just is a little uncomfortable, find on the guitar where it's most comfortable for your hand. I feel like everybody's got different hands, different fingers. You know, if you start up here, you know, an F sharp is going to be a little bit more of a stretch for me. Whereas I'm pretty comfortable, you know, D is very comfortable, you know, I mean, all these are okay. But if you're just beginning this, you might want to start somewhere between B and D. Unless you have little hands, maybe, you know, maybe up here would be good. I mean, you can play F sharp up there. I mean, my fingers are a little too fat for that. Another side thing, I think one of the best chords is you take the same shape, but you just play that whole A, that C-shaped A chord, and then you throw that D over the top. I think that's a beautiful chord. So you just get a bass layer. And then you can just add each one of those extensions. that stuff just right within that shape. So same thing as this shape, just a different handling of it. Just different fingering.